What's going on, everybody? It's David Mitchell here, voice of Autism, episode 79. Yeah, it's been almost 2 days since I did the update video where I was sick. I'm still getting over being sick anyway. I finally started getting my voice back, and the rhonda in my throat is finally gone. The only thing I have is the mucus and the coughing, so that's the only thing I have left. Me and my fiance Val were doing great. I have the link to her YouTube channel down below if you want to go to my fiance YouTube channel. But yeah, I meant to start the live stream around 10 or 9, but because of dinner it took a little longer. We had to wait dinner, but I'm watching a live stream on a rebuild that somebody doing on Thai Point, or the Thai River Point, or Tidewater Point Railroad in Drain. And I'm looking at trying to Maryland with. I did play the Tidewater route, or Tidewater Point route back in Train 2010 when I had it yet. I used to have Train 2010. I still have the game, but I don't have a laptop or a computer that work anymore for it. I have to get a new one. But the original route, I would probably work the hell out on it, trying to make it work a lot better. Because I like the jointed rail one better than the original one. I'll admit it. The jointed rail one is 10 times better. And I will admit that. Literally. I don't know why, but it was better than the original. And the original used like something like foreign railroad equipment that you would not see in the US. The intermodal facility was not realistic. The inlet line was not realistic. Now, how they have it at the inlet route, they have it where you have 3 points of where the tunnel point is, and technically all 3 are interchanges. I would work on that route to make it where the inlet line, when it's somewhere, go way farther, and turn it into like a regional. That's what I would have done for the Tidewater route. But yeah. Somebody already watching the video. But yeah. I'm a fan of the route, but it needs a lot more work on it. And Georgia Railroad did a crap ton of work that needed to be done on it, but it fixed the tunnel that was way too small. The only part that I did agree with, because their route is more modern, is the logging area. Because in real life, that area, the line would have been completely abandoned and logging would have been completely obsolete. Like literally. Unless it was a transportation to transfer the logs from semi-trucks to rail. Did they still do that? I see sometimes trains with a log car with logs on it goes rolling by once to see an X8 line right by my house. For people who don't know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about trains. Even though it will be about autism, I'm just going to bring it up real quick. I live along the CX8 line. The tracks go right by my house, right behind the tree lines where I live here in Ravenel, South Carolina. So yeah, I actually have video of train going through tree lines, and I'm doing it for my phone, and you guys wondering how in the hell I'm live streaming without 1,000 subscribers. Well, there's a simple reason for that. I'm using this thing called Minicam. It helped me live stream to YouTube without having 1,000 subscribers. It make it easy to live stream. So I'll be using that until I get 1,000 subscribers, because when I get that, I'll be live streaming again to YouTube using the normal app. But until then, it's gonna be a while. But yeah. Did the last week video, or check we from a couple days ago, or check the last week video of me rail fanning. Did right on my property, 2 tree lines. Let me. There it is. The train will also carry an auto racks on it. Wait. That we did, but not. It was a couple weeks after that. We had a train carrying auto racks. But yeah. Oh, that right. Video 8 days ago on the May 20th, with 6 days ago, when I caught double tracking our modal one. Oh, hey BNSF. Thanks. Oh, by the way, shout out. Thanks for that, man. But yeah, I always enjoy people in my live streams. Yes, BNSF, you be in my live stream. Oh, shout out for your YouTube channel too, by the way. You can thank me for that. Thank for that. Yes, you will. Oh, and keep updated on what happened about a couple weeks ago with that car versus train. Earlier that day, I did caught them being at Seth locomotive on video. So, yeah. The day that I caught being at Seth locomotive on video, what day that I ended up caught in a train for a car. Well, I hope never happen again. More likely it might. With my luck. Oh well. Now let's see what we have here for today. By the way here, Jane, I'm reading an article, or checking out article. If you guys don't know, I'm a big fan of R Trap Pro Revenge on Reddit. It's hilarious. But there's one story that did pissed me off, and it was not revenge, it was child abuse. And it was coming from a person who got the revenge, or technically the victim. And it pissed me off because it was a stepfather and a mother who got angry because the kid didn't want to clean their room, and instead of just explaining to them the reason why they needed their room clean, they went full on prison mode, abusing their kid, like treating it like they were in a prison. Literally called to school and told them don't give them the essentials. Literally. I don't have the story again because it really irked my gear. But if you went into the story, if you ever hear it, where my house was not a prison yet, but now it is, it would probably, if you know what child abuse is, it would get you irked. And I said that would not. I started a conversation in that group, and there are people saying that if parents should be doing that. No, that's child abuse. They have not thought about trauma. They have not thought about PTSD, and if a kid had a mental disability or like autism, that would probably cause them trauma. And I guarantee there are kids who've gone through stuff like that and probably hung themselves. Literally. Just think about how many kids killed themselves over that stuff. Literally. And did that while part of the military. like literally, oh boy, like I was pissed off to like no tomorrow. And people were saying it's not child abuse. Bullcrap. Crap, it is. And I responded to them in a way, calling them out for who they was. But you don't usually get people like me who stand up for people who are been child abuse. But I called them out for who they was. And some mom said, "Hey, I just shared it with our parents. One, if you do," I said, I hope you go to jail for it. Because they do. That is, in my book, that unacceptable. That to hear how child abuse and torture. Like, there are going to be the mental issues. And the only reason why it happened because the oldest daughter said they got out of prison, and the mom said, "Hey, let Bob up in my head, turn their life into a living hell, and make me allowed." And here's something messed up, and it's about I can count as sexual harassment too. If that father, every time they come down, puts them against the law and patted them down like criminal. That I hate it. If I'd seen that, if I was a neighbor, I would have called child services on them. Hello? Child services? We got them abusive parents over here. And they are the neighbors. I would have definitely called child services on them because their father literally did not care if they were female or male, patted them down like prisoner. Literally in their own home. And people who are out there saying, "Oh, boo hoo hoo, you don't know what child abuse is?" You're saying, F you, you fucking child abusers. Yeah, if you say you don't know, then I'm going to bring you at child abusers, and I hope you go bragging about it, saying you know what child abuse is. Because one, if you do that, I hope you end up in jail. And if the story is true, I hope the parents end up in jail. I hope so. Because one, they don't think about the trauma. They don't think about the PTSD it can cause. They don't think about the humiliation and how damaging it can be to the kids. They don't. All they think about is using fear as power. And at the end of the revenge story, like kid gave in and mom came in with all their toys, even though she did not throw them away. She dropped them on the floor saying, "Pick it up for dinner, or we'll do it again." That's like a kick in the face right there. That's still abuse. Technically, it's like kicking a kid in their own face and clean it up. Like using fear. That toxic parenting. That's using fear, and that's technically saying, "Hey, you don't have any freedom around here. You're my slave. I tell you what to do." So technically, it is child abuse, and those parents who are out there who say, "I'm making it easy to control my kids," I hope you end up in jail for it. I really do. Like, I'm not so into sorry because, one, it irked me. Two, it's child abuse, and I was a victim of child abuse when I was younger. My real dad and my stepmom used to abuse me a lot when I was younger. When my mom found out, she went off on them. They ran to Alabama. My real dad tried coming back to try to cover up and try to fix the stuff that he done, but it was too late. And last time I have seen him was in 2011, a year before I started high school. Well, I'm glad that I don't have to ever deal with him again. He nearly killed me. Even my stepmom tried doing that. but this story irked the gear out of me. Like, literally. And here messed up thing is, the kids, if they did not use the bathroom before 6, they have, like literally, they had the curfew where they would walk in their room around 6, and if they did not use the bathroom before then, they had to use the bathroom in a bucket in their room. That, and even though they had to clean it afterwards when they got up, that's still counted as child abuse. That's actually it, child abuse. It's not seeing them any manner, it's seeing them fear. Like, fear us. And that a bad message, using fear. Look, for people think that is funny and think it cool to do, fucking shame on you. I hope you end up in hell or in prison if you ever do that. And I know those parents, when they die, they're going to end up in hell. And this was a story that happened around back in late 90s, like 1999. So yeah, this stuff was probably approved by back then, but it's unacceptable now with a good thing. So stuff like that would not have been allowed. But this story irked the hell out of me. Like, I was searing with anger that how dare, and it was a military dad, or like a stepdad, like literally, and youngin was 8, the older was 14, and it was a 14-year-old girl, and she was a teenager going through the rebellious stage, and Burton went to story was around 10 and 11. It was a miracle that the kid, had not had PTSD or trauma from it. I guarantee everybody else in the family ended up going through crime. Like the teenager, I guarantee she got in trouble with the law down the line. Like literally, like they even made them wear brand clothes that, like bed clothes that look like you would wear in prison to school. And the kids got humiliated from it because of it. And the parent called the school, and I know they were accepted at time back then. Then they called school and told them don't give them anything and forced them to come out right at bell ring to get in the car. One, at that type of call with 15, the school would gone child services. We did got abusive parents telling us what to do with kids. If they did that in this day and age, child services would have been called on them. The dad and mom would have been going to jail for false imprisonment, child abuse, and a ton of other crap done. Literally, and like, they were not even allowed to go out to see their friends. Like, social change is something that a kid need. You keep that socialness from it. It's 10 times worse for autistic people. Like, you guys know I talk a lot, and I am social, but if you're not out a lot, that can harm and be more harmful. Like, you have to talk to people. And you can't keep talking with family. Like, it'll drive you nuts. And like, this mom, she sat around rotting her kid clean like slaves. She did it for almost a month. To make them realize, or technically not realize, but get fear into saying, you're my slave. I can tell you what to do. Ha ha ha. And, you know what? It's going to piss me off, but I'm going to sew it. I don't give a damn anymore, but you guys gotta listen to this story to believe it. Like, if from a sword I'm saying, and people are telling, there are people who agree with me that it's child abuse, but there are people who said that it is not. And one, they don't know what child abuse is. I was a victim of child abuse when I was younger. Like, my real dad and my stepmom tried killing me. Try telling me I don't know what child abuse is? Fuck you. You don't know the trauma I went through when I was younger. Like, people can go through it and be much more from here. And here, team, I will never do this to my kids. Like, when I find story, I'll play it, but it is genuinely aggravating. Like, I'm going to skip some parts. And I'm surprised that the kid have not killed itself or got in trouble with law or had like mental issues. Like, it was a miracle. Like, literally. Like, it disgusted the hell out of me that they called it a here.
We are a nation under God. And I believe God intended for us to be free.
Hey everyone, and welcome to... If you're new around here, please... Not a prison. Yet. Well, Mother's Day has come and gone once again. Children have... Now, I am not a mother myself, but if you have read my first ever post on Reddit, then you have all at least heard of my mother. If not, then let me tell you a tale. One of bright kids. An overworked mother, she actually learned how to break someone's neck and back to know the signs just in case. Let's take a look back, way back, to the time of the first stirrings of the white 8 years old. Due to the whole soap incident, he delegated all forms of discipline to her when it came to punishing us all on a whole. So, due to her working long 13-hour days to support us all, and the lack of allowance for doing chores, because, let's face it, 6 kids tends to run you dry if you try to keep up with it all. We, the children, started slacking off and ignored the order. Her and A shared a room, practically having one side of the upper floor. Just going to toss it all out because that's a waste of money.
One, the part where I got
Our more, expressive sister, who had a bit of a rough. With this, dinner was concluded. Okay, and that was that. No punishments, no scold. Which was unusual, because she ate breakfast. Hinted at what was the revenge, and how does it fit into the pro? Well, I'll tell you. Mum's revenge. While we were at school, Mum, RG, and some of his friends came in and got rid of players, rodeos, and TVs were taken. Dressers and closets were cleaned. All computers, video games, Game Boys.
This is the part that got me irking mad. And if I were a cop, I would have put the dad in handcuffs, the mom in handcuffs, and say hello to prison. You're going there. If you're going to do this to your kids, I'm going to teach you what prison is like and how fear is.
CD players, rodeos, and TVs were taken. Dressers and closets were emptied. Toys upon toys were tossed. Colourful blankets and sheets removed from beds. Decorations, pencils and colouring tools, papers and scissors, glue, basically any and all craft supplies, gone. When we returned from home, RG was in his military uniform and accosted us as we came in through the door, pinned us to the wall and frisked each of us. Backpacks, candy, and everything we...
Okay, one, if this person were real, and if I were a cop, I said, RG, if I were your team, you're being dishonorably discharged and you're going to be charged with child abuse. And he said, what? If he'd say that, I said, yeah, child abuse. We got you on child abuse, abusing your 6 children or your 6 kids by a neighbor who recorded and seen everything. And we took those kids into custody, and some of them had to go through PTSD trauma, all that. And if you start trying to do it, I'm saying, you're going to be putting more charges on you. I would have been straight up with him saying, look, you either deal with the consequences of doing this to your kids, or you get in more trouble.
And on us were taken. My mother then handed us some grey pyjamas and ordered us to march into the bathroom to change. Terrified, we complied. The living room seemed so bare. The piano and recorder was gone, along with the TV. The puzzles and games usually kept in the room gone from the shelves. The bathroom was no better. Bare of except Head and Shoulders and a bar of soap on a string for some reason. It smelled strongly of bleach.
Okay, bleach. One, bleach is harmful to the skin. That right there would be red flag and even higher up child abuse. Right there. The bleach is harmful to the skin, but if somebody accidentally ingested it, that can kill them. So technically, if one of them kids ended up getting mixed water with bleach in it, in their throat, and ended up going to a medical emergency, that would have been uh-oh for the mom and dad, and DHEX would have been coming in. Mom, dad would have been, whoop, handcuffed, going to jail. And there are some people who agree that the parents need to do this. Those people who agree with them are bloody effing sick. Literally. They don't think about the trauma, the damage, the PTSD, and the threat that it will cause. No, all they care about is putting fear, control, obey me in. One, we're not slaves. We're not animals. And one, we're not property. You're sending that message out there. One, you're cruel, you're not human, and you're just an abusive monster if you do that. And I hope you go to jail or end up in hell for it.
Then sat down on lawn chairs, the couch occupied by my stone-cold mother as we waited for every child to arrive in silence. Welcome to the month of hell. We watched as my mother tossed all of our clothes into a garbage bag. All toys and art supplies from our backpacks followed. And RG was in uniform, with his scariest expression as my mother went through our new itinerary for life from now on. Wake up at dawn, PT in the mornings through the town led by RG. Oatmeal with no sugar for breakfast. Then off to school. Drop off made to the classrooms by RG and pick up from the moment the bell goes at the end of the day. Lunch is roast beef sandwiches. Barely any mayo, and
Here's saying, if I met the parent, I would have punched him and gave them a bloody nose. This is what you get for child abuse. This is what you get for brainwashing your kids. Ooh. They better be lucky I'm not a cop. Or I would have been putting them in handcuffs, putting them in a car, sending them to prison, and they better be lucky I'm not a shade, oh, they would have been screwed, like literally. This is exactly child abuse, right here. Literally, this person gave a full description of child abuse. Unacceptable. Really, look. On how it go, this is exactly child abuse. Literally, it's pure child abuse. No doubt about it. The mom just did not think about sitting down and just explain to them reason why. And the teenager probably going to want her face it, and they don't even think about helping. All they chose to do is say, you fear. Fear at best. One, fear saying, fear don't work. It make monsters. It make monsters. It causes PTSD, and it causes suicide, depression, all the bad stuff above. And look, it never worked. Why can't people just see that? One, and if people who think it, I get that. I get you don't give a damn how a kid feel. I get you don't give a damn that their word matter. I get you don't give a damn if they get PTSD or trauma. One, you have to think about the kids, not about your way. And here, teen, talk about that. Some parents and this mom, I guarantee you did not get that memo. One, parents, you tell our kids we can't get our steps don't go our way and can't get our way. One, that apply to you too. Take your word. Use your word. Don't use it against everybody else to get your way. It's disgusting. It dehumanizing. It's wrong. Literally. No, sorry about that hair. Like, really? It is disgusting.
Filtered letters. School has been informed to not give us anything and to take away anything not given to us by our parents.
One, it did what if they called it and did they in AIDS? If a parent called the school and told them that, the school by law would have to call DHEC or child services by law. No doubt about it, because what parent did, it's illegal, it's child abuse, and it's not allowed. And literally, there are people telling me that it's not illegal. Bullshit, it is. I checked the law. And there are people out there, even psychiatrists, who even agreed with me that it's child abuse. Literally. And for autistic person, they could call it major trauma, PTSD, and can screw them up. Like, literally.
Once home, we are each assigned a room to clean. Our bags taken and checked for contraband. Room clean, PT on the backyard, a deflated soccer ball as a toy. Nothing else. Leave the fenced-in area and you get extra punishment. No friends, calls, or escape. Dinner was cold peas, corn, beans, and mystery meat. No butter, salt, or ketchup allowed. You don't take care of your home, you don't deserve your home. Welcome to prison.
No. That disgusts me. And to go out to mom who did it, I hope you end up in prison or hell. Yeah. To out to you if you are went in and if you're one of the people who went into my video. So people who are out there who do this, I hope you end up in hell or in jail, because this is unacceptable.
Work was done at the table. Use of pencils and paper regulated and inventory counted. Bedtime was at 6, lights out at 7, and all the doors locked until morning. Bathroom must be used before bed.
One, lock-in room, that can count as fault imprisonment. By law, that fault imprisonment. It's not punishment or grounding. It's actually count by law as fault imprisonment.
Or you have to go in the pot put in your room. It is up to you to keep it cleaned.
Work Parent of the Year award go to them. I guarantee that they had problematic feces and probably have nasty stuff in their room because of that, because of having to use the bathroom in a bucket. So technically, it's child abuse.
We had 2 sets of PJs we went to school in, all grey and a set for bed. It was up to us to keep them clean. Uniform must be maintained. Hair must be maintained. Our grades must stay high. No excuses, no exceptions.
Here, teen, I would tell them, like, I will not keep my grade up if you keep doing it. And one, I will get child service involved, and you can get by and you can get yourself hello in jail. If you abuse me or hit me and try to keep me here, I'll run out, go get cops, and you can explain to them. So, yeah, technically, either way, if it happened now, the parents would have been trying to explain stuff. Well, they get handcuffed and put it back in a police car, and their kids go to the hospital, end up in child services.
By the time a week was up, she had broken us. N and A had stayed stubborn, but even they broke by the 2nd week. Then, the appeals. You want release? Write us an essay on why you think you're ready to return to society. Then, an interview to determine leniency. Myself and my younger sister Elle managed to be allowed outside beyond the yard. It took several days for the others to follow. By the end of the month, we were ready to do anything my mother asked us to.
One, I would not. I would just go to child services and tell them everything. Tell them what their mother, exactly. If that were my mother, I would have told them what she had done to her. And that would have been something all over the news. Plus, the parents would have been going to jail. They would not be allowed to see us. But their dad, or technically their stepdad, would probably be honorably discharged for child abuse, because yes, you can get discharged because of that from the military. So father out there who went into stuff like this, think twice on stuff like this, because it will screw you. And if it do, I hope it happen and you go to prison because of it.
And on the same day as last time, she and RG came into our rooms and dumped garbage bags upon garbage bags. Every book to every Lego was in there, marked with our names. All our stuff was brought back, and my mother dumped them all out onto the floor and said, "When I come back up here, whatever is on the floor goes in the garbage." We cleaned that ish up fast. We never ignored our chores again. This person lives in like a sitcom episode. Imagine being that child. You'd just be like crying, and that would be awful. But I guess in the end, people have different ways of parenting.
That's not parenting. That's child abuse. That's bloody child abuse. And that's not punishment or discipline. That's using fear as revenge. Or not revenge. As a way of control. It's disgusting. The person who wrote it, I'm surprised that they have not killed themselves or had not trauma. But I have a bad feeling if this person had dealt with it as a kid, they're probably going to do it to their own kids. Well, I hope they do not. And if I find this person, I want to talk to them and explain to them, you do realize you technically went through stuff acting out and get your parents arrested. If I find the person, I'm going to talk to them. You know me. That this stuff don't settle right. In the end, there are always consequences for stuff like this. And it's really bad. I didn't want to show the video, but I did that because, you know, it got me aggravated. I gotta be get filled up. I gotta go. Just a minute. Guys. Ooh, I got it. Go. Okay guys, I'm back. But yeah, that's straight up child abuse. I went to high school with a student who actually dealt with something like this. Where his mom decided to go AWOL and do this, and in the end, guess what happened? He ended up in child services. His mom ended up in prison. So technically, what happened is, and yes, I am feeling better. Y'all was gaming. I finally got my voice back now. I did lost my voice yesterday on Saturday. Like, I completely lost it Saturday. Sorry about that, guys. Like, I couldn't even talk. Like, my voice was gone. Oi. My nose is so runny. But that would have caused PTSD. But yeah. I'll message him later on. I was good enough to do that live stream. I'm glad I did. But it's a miracle that none of those kids killed themselves. Now here's something I like. Now here's something that involves something like me and Vel.
I'm married. I'm also autistic. But being on the spectrum has made me a better husband. When comedian Amy Schumer described how her husband is autistic, it made me appreciate how being on the spectrum has made me a better husband. Zach Budryk, opinion contributor. Updated to 11 p.m. EDT April 7, 2019. Occasionally people react with surprise when they hear that I'm on the autism spectrum and have been married for nearly 7 years, and I'm not sure why that is. In a lot of ways, a wedding is the ideal setting for a person on the spectrum. Everything is choreographed and planned. You're wearing an outfit you like regardless of its practicality, and depending on where you go for your honeymoon, there might even be some train travel involved. The wedding, of course, is the easy part. A marriage tends to lack the predictability and fixed routine that many autistic people find so comforting. So, I deeply appreciated when I happened to turn on Amy Schumer's Netflix special, Growing, last month and heard the comedian discuss her experience with her husband, Chef Chris Fisher, and reveal that Fisher is on the autism spectrum too. Read more commentary. I'm leaving the United Methodist Church, and anyone who respects LGBT rights should too. Fact, dogs are better than grandkids. Now, I invite my adult children to prove me wrong. I have a disability everyone can see. My bipolar friend who died by suicide did not. Once he was diagnosed, it dawned on me how funny it was, because all of the characteristics that make it clear that he's on the spectrum are all of the reasons that I fell madly in love with him, Schumer says, going on to describe how Fisher's bluntness and lack of artificiality benefit their relationship. It made me think far more than I expected any comedy special to in the first place, and helped me take some time to consider how being on the spectrum has in fact made me a better husband. Rethink empathy in autism. For decades, the prevailing stereotype was that autism spectrum disorders manifested as a lack or deficit of empathy. More recently, however, research suggests it's precisely the opposite, that we may in fact experience higher levels of empathy.
True.
This updated
True, we do experience higher. And I will say the fact. We do deal with higher amount of empathy than a neurotypical, like literally. And what I was saying about earlier, that empathy would probably been damaged and probably caused depression and PTSD from that child abuse from the last thing that I was talking about a few minutes ago before I turned to this. So, technically speaking, yeah. That part I even agreed with child abuse earlier. But yeah, let's get back to this story because I'm gonna move on from that.
Understanding of autism was emerging before I met my wife Rachel, but it took her becoming the most important person in my life for me to really understand it. I almost literally can't stand to see her in distress or discomfort. Even when it's a problem that has nothing to do with me or is out of my control, I feel it so deeply that I'm driven to distraction trying to solve her problem. Zach and Rachel Budryk's wedding in Richmond, VA. In September 2012. Family handout. What can I do? Is one of my most frequent questions to her, and while I'm sure she appreciates my concern, I also understand, upon reflection, why it's not much use when her problem is something like an upset stomach or being caught in traffic. It's not a one-way street, of course. Rachel understood what she was getting into marrying someone on the spectrum, and she's always been up to the task. Another common characteristic of autism is an intense interest or encyclopedic knowledge of a certain subject, and in my case that meant early in our relationship, my love of movies was a big part of how we bonded. Aside from the occasional dinner, we didn't go on many traditional dates, but one of our first real dates was watching the 2008 Academy Awards together in our college dorm and watching our song, Falling Slowly, from Once, win the award for Best Original Song. To this day, we still make sure to make time to watch the telecast together every year. Jumping into a new routine together. Another common feature of people on the spectrum is devotion to familiar, comforting rituals and, conversely, discomfort with breaking from them. Rachel and mine, some hiccups today were both in a better place, lasted through our final 2 years of college, during which our routines, putting in hours at our retail jobs while also being full from them, is devotion to familiar, comforting rituals and...
But, sorry about that. Here, Gene. Change is part of life. I'm used to change, like literally. Nothing is normal. That's a fact. Change, it's up and down. It's up and down. Some of us are used to, like, I'm used to change. My fiance Val, she used to change. Like, literally.
Conversely, discomfort with breaking from them. Rachel and my engagement lasted through our final 2 years of college, during which our routines, putting in hours at our retail jobs while also being full-time students, were rigorous but predictable. Then, a few months after the wedding, we entered territory that was wildly unfamiliar to me when we moved from Richmond, Virginia, to the Washington, D.C. area. The plan was never to stay in Richmond permanently, not after we'd spent years getting degrees in urban planning and journalism, respectively, 2 fields with far more opportunities farther north. It was only about a 2-hour move, but after living in Richmond all my life, a step this big was quietly terrifying. It wasn't the thing I already knew I could do. What if I failed? What if I'd trapped this woman I loved with all my heart in a marriage with a failure? That didn't happen, of course. Despite some hiccups, today we're both in a better place professionally than we ever expected. But when I made the decision to take the plunge, I accepted the possibility that it might. That, for a creature of habit like me, was what being in love really meant, caring enough about someone that the risk was worth it. Again, though, it's a two-way street, and to this day I remember a conversation early in our relationship when Rachel told me about her deep fear of roller coasters. But, she said, I'd go on a roller coaster with you. Sometimes, that's what being married means, especially when you're on the spectrum, not knowing what the future holds and having no guarantees you'll land in a soft place, but taking that leap with a person you know you'd ride a roller coaster with.
That's true. I would do that with Val. And I actually do mean it. Yeah, I'm going to call exactly met my friend and asked him, do you want to be on me on that podcast later on? Tyrone, you want me to be on that podcast later on? I finally got my voice back to the point where I'm able to do a live stream. I hope you get that message, but yeah. But it's crazy. But it's crazy now. Everybody's been helping or asking for me to get well. I've been. Thank you for everybody who wished me well. Now, that cough I'm going to have for a few days. It's something I won't be able to get rid of for right now. It'll take about a day or so for me to finally get out of it. Like, literally. Excuse me. But yeah, let me check. Okay, check that. And oh, and anybody want my reaction video from a couple days ago, right before I got really sick? I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I really do. But yeah. But it was not easy. I'll admit that. But my nose is still weakened. But yeah. 1 minute, I gotta clean this up because I just spit it on it. Ow. Don't always want to use some of that house spit on it. Gotta clean it. Are you going to edit up tomorrow? Yeah. That would be a pretty good element. You know what I would made from the comic? Yeah. Get out and look it up. All the alien invasion and how they know how that they are able to go back in time and even got a part of power. I know how it ends. You know? Yeah. Oh, by the way, the reason why he was handcuffed because he was cradled. Right, he tried to leave the army, like he tried to, you know how that thing where you can't, abandon. Okay, guys, I'm back. But yeah, they're wanting answer tomorrow in here. They're a pretty good movie. I'll admit it. I watched it myself the first time around. So with me being sick, cannot get spit. Get away, it spreads up around. But that story that I said earlier about all child abuse. Well, I gotta see what it is. Because I know the it's all about CBD oil.
A lot to take in. Carrie Rivera, Jenny Rivera and McCarthy, shut down or not. Lindsay Moeller, May 23rd. Carrie Rivera, Jenny McCarthy, and a cult of bleachers. Content warning asterisk on the blog subject. This information is a lot to take in. For those who are new to the information, who are unaware of everything that has been going on, and want to know more, welcome to my blog. My goal here today is to catch you up, as well as inform parents on how to better serve their autistic children. As you can see, the screenshot above shows what Carrie Rivera looks like. Now, I've already written a blog on bleach cures, but this one is more up to date. Carrie Rivera is a mom and also is an anti-vaxxer, bleacher, and child abuser. She actively promotes the use of MMS, as well as invented it, which I'll get into in a bit, but before I do, I need to mention that this information may likely cause you to sleep less. I know it's made me cry quite a few times as well. I lose sleep over autistic children being abused at night sometimes. Autistic advocates, such as Emma Dalmain, Eve Ryland, Amanda Siegler, Melissa Eden, and many other autistic advocates have actually been heavily involved with online and offline activism for the past almost 4 years dealing with autism bleachers. Now, for most people not in our community...
Yeah, we deal with bleacher all the time. There are no words in Nazis. I'll bring that up.
Community, it is relatively new information because mainstream media took a while to catch on. Before I delve into what you've probably seen in the news, etc., let me inform you first on bleach cures and what they are. Bleach cures are created by desperate parents of autistic children looking to make profit off of curing autism, simply because they refuse to accept that their children are neurologically different. We see this in well-known parents, such as Carrie Rivera and Jenny McCarthy. Her son is not autistic though, every single day, and they both are causing more and more harm to the autistic community. Bleach cures are toxic because not only do they promote abuse, but they incite violence against autistic children. What are the types of bleach cures, otherwise known as alternative therapies, one may ask? Here is a list. MMS, often referred to as Miracle Mineral Solution, Master Mineral Solution, MMS, or the CD protocol, otherwise known as Miracle Mineral Solution. This bleach cure comes in a bottle, and autistic children are fed, typically, up to 40 drops per day. Claim. Use of industrial bleaching agent chlorine dioxide to cure AIDS, malaria, cancer, autism, and more. But we all know that Scientology is a load of pseudoscience and that both Jim Humble and Carrie Rivera are not to be taken seriously. Jim Humble and Rivera started the campaigning in 2006. Children will often experience...
If I was government, I would put a warrant out for their arrest. Literally. And I would literally make sure people like that end up in prison. Because they are a danger to society. 2, they're monsters. 3, they don't deserve to have their kids. It should be taken from them because they are abusers.
Experience the following symptoms: nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, damage to GI tract, kidney and liver damage, red blood cell damage, anemia, skin rashes, internal bleeding, and damage to reproductive organs, as well as sores and...
My stepmom tried doing it to me when I was younger. And my real dad. They actually tried to step on me.
Mouth, skin change in color, and intestinal damage. Amazon, Walmart, and other businesses have sold this product, and Amazon recently was under fire this spring and this past December for selling the product, books, etc. And is still selling books and films on the subject itself. MMS is fed not only orally, but also through enemas, which is just as bad. I won't post photos, but the ingredients for MMS are sodium chloride 22.4%, water, H20, as well as an acid such as the juices of citrus fruits. 2. Chelation, otherwise known as chelation therapy. Heavy metal poisoning is essentially what chelation treatments consist of. They are not healthy and are incredibly harmful to the autistic child. These protocols are forced onto the child, just like MMS. Claim. Bleachers believe that autism is caused by mercury exposure, such as from childhood vaccines. Chelation therapy removes mercury from the child's body, which chelation supporters say cures autism. However, there is no evidence of a link between mercury exposure and autism. Take that, anti-vaxxers. Plus, chelation therapy has serious side effects, including potentially deadly kidney damage. It is quite fatal. Now that I've covered both, I will next dive into Carrie Rivera herself. Carrie sells MMS in the US, and secretly elsewhere. Because Facebook has the secret group option, it is quite hard for advocates to be able to find these groups. Advocates are still looking into finding more groups. Both Carrie and Jim are Scientologists. Scientology is what creates anti-vaxxers who are against autism. Carrie is to blame for all of her keto groups, see the first image in this article. That group still exists on Facebook. Those have been a thing for a while, until April. That is when Facebook removed the group she had, but this does not stop there. The other secret groups exist, and Facebook will not remove her account or help us out in tackling other groups. Recently, our activism hit the news on NBC, Rolling Stone, The Young Turks, etc. And thanks to the news reporter who made it happen on NBC, the topic went viral within a day.
Mm-hmm. That's how you take down a toxic person who is dangerous to autism society. See, danger to the autism community, like literally. Well, let's go farther down deep into the story because that we were not fully done. Like, literally. Okay, now what we the our have the story.
2 days later, and we discover that Carrie is quite uncontent with what occurred, as no surprise. Thanks to Emma Dalmain and Eve Ryland for the photos. If you'd like to read more, thanks to Eve Ryland, here is another article. Autism 1 is an autism conference that is held every year. People like Carrie Rivera, Jenny McCarthy, J.B. Handley, and Andrew Wakefield attend the event, and the conference is still not shut down permanently. Thanks to Fiona O'Leary and Emma Dalmain, we now have a reporter, but the downside is that this reporter is now being attacked by Carrie Rivera. Emma Dalmain and Fiona O'Leary have been advocating against bleach cures in the UK and in Ireland for the past couple of years. I also recently discovered that Amazon, shame on you Amazon, just attempted to double talk Amanda Siegler after she called Amazon on the phone to ask them to remove any books and videos that were for sale that still were being sold. Amazon only cares about its image, after all. It's still selling books and films, videos that promote cures, etc. Even after it promised back in March that it would remove everything. Generation Rescue's toxic organization that promotes pseudoscientific claims are run by the desire to cure autism. According to the CDC, autism is incurable. It also is incurable due to research done by Spectrum News. Promoting this pseudoscience puts the notion that autism is some disease, as if it is. Autism is not, and is a natural variation in the brain, as well as a neurodevelopmental disability. Want proof? Marabo, A. et al. Transl. If you would like more on Jenny McCarthy, or on bleach cures, you may go to the following blogs I've written, but as of right now, the Autism 1 conference is still being filmed on YouTube. Feel free to go on and speak out against it, and so unfortunately misinformation is still being spread. How do we continue to stop it? By publicly shaming them for their actions, dissecting the misinformation and counteracting it, etc. For Jenny McCarthy, dyspraxia, autism, autoimmune diseases, vaccines, microbiomes, and the mess of anti-vaxxers. Biological facts and genetics, as well as chemistry, are not the same thing as pseudoscience. Medium.com. OR. The era of autistic parents versus martyr mommies. Autism warrior parents, martyr moms as well, do not want to change, and ignorance is a choice. Medium.com. 2. For bleach cures. The curious case of Emma Dalmain, bleach cures, and autism warriors. This world is retracting, and not moving forward. Medium.com. Overall, Carrie Rivera and Jenny McCarthy are trouble. We need more allies. Please consider taking part of your week to help us out. I know it seems like a lot. Want to help and live in the U.S. Thanks to Robert Gehrman and Melissa Eden for this. The Autistic Avenger is asking for a call to action. Please help. TAA. Call to action. A recent boom in media coverage is our boost in the fight against the MMS bleach autism cure scam. But media don't write laws, of course. We need the FDA to act on it. Yes, you can help. Now is the time. This is our historic just-in-time opportunity to actually end this. Qatar, the U.S. FDA has actually invited public comments to be considered for laws and agenda shaping the next 25 years of FDA oversight on unregulated products. Comments accepted through July 15th and will all be reviewed by the official decision makers and listed on the Federal Register. To submit your comment, click the Comment Now button at the upper right. Web links. Please review instructions on their site carefully before submitting. Part. Qatar MMS is a type of bleach used in textile, wood pulp, and water treatment industries. Ingestion in ghastly, 600x, safe, limit, concentration levels advised by Carrie Rivera, Jim Humble and other such scam artists, causes nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, damage to GI tract, kidney and liver damage, red blood cell damage, anemia, skin rashes, internal bleeding, and damage to reproductive organs. An autistic child may to the very untrained eye seem recovered, when weak, silent and ill from this damage, but they really don't become any less autistic.
That's true. These scammers are doing all they can to get rid of us. They don't give a damn. All they care about is eradicating it like Nazi wanted to Jews. So, yeah. They are bad. If you don't realize that, but yeah. If we want the world to change, we gotta fight for it. Tell them enough and enough. We won't deal with the abuse and being treated like different and like human. We are human too. We need to start standing up and telling them enough and enough and start fighting back. So yeah, we need to start doing stuff and telling them we are not going to deal with it anymore. So yeah. Now I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really do. But yeah. And I also hope you have a great Memorial Day weekend. It's tomorrow. Literally, it's tomorrow. But yeah. But it's big. Oh, and I'm wearing sweatpants. Yeah. I decided to wear my sweatpants and first time in a long time. I'd say it's almost been a year to award to you. It's crazy. But yeah. They're actually quite comfortable. I'll admit that. But yeah. Now I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really do. And I hope you guys keep the fight on and keep speaking for right for autistics like us. And making it where we have equal right and be treated like anybody else. And I hope neurodiversity do make it in the world. But yeah. And I want you guys to keep on fighting for our rights. I really do. So we have every right to live like a normal person. We have every right to be treated like a normal person. Just because we have autism, that makes it viable for you treated like an animal or different. Now don't excuse it. So I want you people out there to keep on fighting for our rights and keep on supporting us. And I want to see down the line a world where people on the autism spectrum can live happily. I really do. Oop. But yeah. Now, I really do hope you guys can. And I really am believing in it. And it makes me happy, but yeah. And also, me and my fiance are hoping to me and my fiance want to see a brighter future down the line. And I want everybody to try to have an equal. Didn't lie, I say neurodiversity and for autism acceptance. Like, this all the reason why, but yeah. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys have a great Memorial Day, and I hope you guys have a great week ahead, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, guys!